What's good, everybody? What is good is Big Game James. I'm back in the building, man, and we're gonna talk a little bit. This Jacksonville Jaguars matchup coming up. I said this was a big 4-game stretch. Let me see. Before I drop some music, um, what up, Marcus? How you doing, man? Get on in the building. Uh, what up, fam? What up, Cuzzo? How you doing? Um, Like I said, we're going to talk a little bit of Jags, but I'm going to jump on here because this has been the talk of the week. It's been the talk of the day. Micah Parsons talking about Jalen Hurts, thinking he's the MVP. So I know y'all already seen sound bites, but I'm going to give you a response from Jalen Hurts, and I want to see what y'all think about it right quick. Let's see here. So obviously you heard about the Micah Parsons thing, so I'll play it again so you can hear it.
But it's down to two.
Who else would you put?
I'll probably put Hurts and Mahomes right now. End of the season.
It's hard for me to really speak on this.
Josh right there. Josh is probably right there in the
in a
bubble.
couple weeks. I don't want him to make me pay.
People hating on Micah, Mudham. He riled up them Eagles, didn't he? He riled up them Eagles fans.
Showing at any top 5 category, like is that an MVP based
I think
off
wins.
because
wins.
I would say the Eagles defense will be the MVP.
Brock.
The Niners is surrounded with talent. Debo, Ayuk,
Crazy.
McCaffrey,
Kittle.
Kittle.
So I don't know. My thing was I don't understand why people are so frustrated and so mad about what he said.
In that case,
Like,
that's the team.
why are you tripping? I mean, players say this all the time. I don't know what the big deal is right here.
It's system and team.
I think
You
it's
know
a
what I
little bit of
mean?
both.
People were getting mad, Eagles fans. So I don't think he was disrespecting Jalen Hurts and what he said. He was just like, hey, they got a dope squad. He's played really good football, but they got a dope squad. They got receivers. They got a line. They got a good running game. They got a damn good defense. So that's why he's saying I don't know if it's just Jalen Hurts who's the one who's carried that squad. I don't know if it's just Jalen Hurts who's made that team. He has played some really good football for sure, but we don't know if he was the guy that's done all this. We don't know if he's the guy that's been able to make all these. Now, he's played ridiculously, but you got to look at the whole team. So I think that's what he's talking about. So here's a little response from Jalen Hurts about what Micah Parsons said.
Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else or opinion of a sheep? No. Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else or opinion of a sheep? No. Do I waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else or opinion of a sheep? No.
Play it one more time.
Waste my energy worrying about the opinion of someone else or opinion of a sheep? No.
All right, so basically he's calling, what's up, everybody, as y'all get in the building. What's up, Los? What's up, everybody? So basically he's calling Micah Parsons a sheep. He's basically calling Michael Parsons, a follower, that this and that. But, I mean, I look at it like this. I mean, players talk all the time. You feel me? Players talk all the time like this. You just keep playing football. What I do wonder about sometimes, though, with Michael Parsons is, I mean, he is talking a lot. I'm just not used to this society. I'm not used to this society, the society we live in as far as the media. Let me get some music in here. Y'all want to hear some music? I like this music in the background. I like this. Here it goes. It livens it up when I'm talking. So, what I was saying is this. I'm not used to this type of society that it's all about. When I was coming up watching football or sports, there wasn't podcasts. There wasn't people talking during the week on shows. Von Miller got a podcast, having it during the week. Each players have weekly podcasts. I never seen nothing like that. So I think I don't like it in that aspect, the media aspect where you got players, Von Miller, he's hurt right now, and you got these podcasts where they're just doing shows during the week and, talking about the game, and it's just become entertainment to me. You feel me? So Oh, and Raymond, with me with the T.Y. Hilton pick, I'm cool with that. I like the T.Y. Hilton pick. Like I said yesterday on the final word, with T.Y. Hilton, if you look at the receiver room you went after OBJ. It didn't work. At least right now it didn't. You have Noah Brown, who's played admirably, but he's still not a great player, but he played damn good. Michael Gallup, he's your strong number 2. He's been doing it the last 3 or 4 years, you feel me? But he's still coming back from his injury. Jalen Tolbert's a wash. James Washington, or like Law says, James Washington, he's a wash. He's already got hurt. He's already been banged up. I don't know if James Washington, I said, he might turn up in this offense. He might get some plays here and there. But if you're looking at the whole, your receiver room isn't great. So you're getting a T.Y. Hilton for 4 games in playoffs. That could be really good for you. You know what I mean? 4 games in playoffs, it's not a whole year. He's probably could have some good fresh legs. If you got him at the beginning of the year, maybe he wears down at 33 years old. But now you're getting him in a 4-game stretch and possibly playoffs. No, I think that's a damn good pickup, so I'm cool with that. And Danky's thing, I don't see where it was wrong, but I do say that I'm just my opinion, and I love Micah, so please don't take this weird because a lot of people probably will. But, Micah is chirping a lot, and these players are watching him talk. So if these players are watching him talk, maybe, they go after him a little bit. Not saying they try to injure him because seen this report, an Eagles player going to try to hurt him. I don't believe that. But what I do say is that players will look at this and see how much you talking, and we'll try to come at you. I know when I played the game and I heard somebody in the media always talking and chirping, and then we getting ready to play them, I'm going to make sure I come at you a little bit harder when I play you. It's going to be a little bit more hits. You become more of a target because players are looking at you like you're talking a lot. You smelling yourself. You think you this, you that. So you're going to put more of a target on your back. So I think more double teams, more players going to hit them a little harder. I think that's just the nature of the game. So I think with the talking, it just makes yourself more of a target out there in them streets, in them football streets, or with sports in general. So I just think that's something that he is adding, and, you just got to keep your eye on that. So, but I'm going to talk about a few other things before we talk about this Jags matchup. So let's get over here, and I want to talk. This is on Von Miller's podcast as well. So I wanted to ask the people a question, or when you replay this back, you can jump in the comments and give your thoughts because I made this in my community page. And this is where I said I don't know if Micah Parsons is talking too much, because I feel like people are getting a beat on you and understanding what you're trying to do, so they're going to come at you a little bit more. So just this right here, and it's getting ready to come up. You'll see it here in a second. We picked up the big boy Anthony Rush. But this is what Micah Parsons had to say on Von Miller's Voncast or podcast. It says, Micah said, people don't understand that trench warfare. I'm not going to lie. When I was playing linebacker a whole lot last year, my body was way more fresh. There were some plays when I didn't get touched. When you're on the line, you're getting hit like every single play. You feel me? So I just want to get y'all's thoughts on it as people come up in the building. Is Dan Quinn playing Micah Parsons a little bit too much at the defensive end position? Because he has been one of the biggest pass rush leaders on the team this year. I mean, he's got more pass rush snaps, I believe, than anybody on the team. And we see how he's getting chipped. We see how he's getting held. We see how he's getting hit. Is it too much? You know what I'm saying? Is it too much, or where they're using Micah? You got Anthony Barr back that's playing back at linebacker. LVE has stepped his game up. He's playing very well. The young rook and Damone Clark is showing you flashes. You're really excited about him. But it looks like Micah is coming down on the line of scrimmage like every player, every other play he's rushing that quarterback. Should he go back to playing more linebacker and be more spot duty, more like he was last year, where it was more spot duty, where he was rushing that passer on the third downs and really coming after him on third downs and pinning the ears back? And it wasn't like you were almost like a full-time rush guy, a full-time defensive end, dude. Is it too much? What's your thoughts? Me, I think it's a little too much right now. I didn't want him. Last year we were going back and forth of, do you want him as a full-time rush guy or do you want him flexing? Me, I didn't. As good as he was last year and the sacks that he got, 13 sacks last year, already has 12. You see what he brings to the table as rushing the quarterback. But just like we talked about on the final word last night, he's undersized. He's 6'3", 245 pounds. That wears on you. You ultimately want your guy around that 260 pound, 270 pound. You want your guy about 6'4", 6'5", about 260, 270 pounds. You can go up even up to 280 because you're going against offensive linemen that are 300 pounds plus, 280 and up, 300 pounds plus. Okay, 310, 320. Those guys are hitting you every play, right, when you're rushing the passer. So that, just like he says, you're not going to be as fresh because you're getting hit. Linebacker, you can slide, you can move, you can sub in and out. You got rotation, so your body's going to stay fresh. And I think he is a little bit more wore down. This last game against the Texans, they're a 1-10 team, and obviously he went against Larry Tunstall a lot, but he had one pressure. That was one of his worst games as far as pressuring the quarterback, things of that nature. What's up with you, Steve Lumpton? You know what I mean? But I think there needs to be a happy balance. And I'm going to pull some stuff up right quick. Let's see right here. Get over to Micah Parsons right now. Get ready to put up some Micah stuff right here. Man, I don't know, Los. I don't know what's up with I don't know what's up with Jabril Cox. I just feel like this season might be a wash. If he's not played yet and he's been healthy, this might not just be his year. We got to see what's happening next year. But I'm pulling up Micah stuff right here. Total pressures 59, 12 hits on the quarterback. I'm going to say I'm going down his pass rush snaps, 354 pass rush snaps, run defensive snaps, 280. I'm going to say he's probably the top guy in pass rush snaps. This is his stats right now, 59 pressures. $12 hits, 35 hurries, 12 sacks. But like I said, I think this DQ, my opinion, it doesn't matter. He's the defensive coordinator. I just feel like, they want to tone it down a little bit. I mean, the pass rushing is great, but I feel like he's just more versatile when you can move around and find him matchups. I just feel like they are kind of using him a little bit too much in that, and they just kind of need to keep an eye on that, if you can kind of say that, if you will. I hope he can get 2 sacks. I definitely feel it. He's going to be going against some players over there on Jacksonville. Let's pull up some matchups right quick. Some lineups. Robinson, he's a guy. He's not really there. The offensive line isn't great, as you can see their front. As I get ready to pull it up, it'll be delayed on here. But they got some offensive players. Offensive line isn't the greatest. I'm gonna pull up what they look like on sacks, but Marvin Jones. He had a couple big games. I think he had a 10 reception game. Evan Ingram, we know him from the Giants. He can cause you problems because he's that fast tight end, more the receiver type. Christian Kirk has done very admirably. He got the big contract over from the Cardinals, and he's done well. And Trevor Lawrence has stepped his game up. For real, we're going to go to his numbers right quick, too. And Travis is an NTM. I don't know if, they both were back in Clemson, and that's a fast back. So this is where Micah Parsons the defensive line can exploit probably this offensive line, but they got weapons, man. And I've been talking about these Jacksonville Jaguars as far as you got to beat these guys early. This was the four game stretch that I had been talking about on Twitter. This was the 4-game stretch that I said this is the playoffs right here. You feel me? This is where you're going to show me if you're battle tested, right? This is where you're going to show, because the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're 5-8, but they have a good coach in Doug Peterson. They have some talent, and they have some athletic ability. Let's go to the defense. Let's flip it over to the defensive side. I mean, and that defense is young. Josh Allen, Arden Key. We've seen with Trevor Walker, Devin Lloyd, Cisco, Chad Muma's on the squad. Like, they have a lot of young talent, but it's still young, and you can get on them and you can get after them. But let them stay in the game in Jacksonville. That's going to be the problem. That's why I feel like Dallas got to stomp these boys out early. If I'm keeping it all the way 100, Dallas got to stop these boys out quick and early. What up, T Smooth? What's up with you, baby? But they really have to do that. They have to get on this team early. Like, offensively, that's why I said this is a Kellen Moore game to me. I'm going to keep it real as we go right over here. This is a Kellen Moore game to me. Now, I told y'all I don't be beating up Kellen Moore like a lot of people do. Once again, I'm going to tell people I don't love him. I don't hate him. I'm in between with Kellen Moore. But this game has to be these last 4 games are big for Kellen Moore. In my opinion, these games are huge for Kellen Moore and the psyche of the team. You know what I mean? For the psyche of the team, because you got Jacksonville Jaguars teams who we're showing you right here. Lawrence is looking good. Travis Etienne, he's about to be a 1,000-yard rusher. They're going to have possibly a 1,000-yard receiver in Christian Kirk. They're competing for the division. They're 2 games back behind the Titans, and we saw the Titans floundering right now. So the Jags still have a chance. So this is a huge game for them, okay? And the Texans, all right, the way the Texans played against Dallas, you don't tell me the Jacksonville Jaguars aren't feeling good about themselves, feeling like they can beat Dallas? And I'm going to some of their numbers, and here are some of their ranks. Let's see right here. I'm going to see what these opponents ranks on. They don't have a lot of sacks, and they're 5th in the league in giving up sacks. So you can get them, right? You can attack them on that. They're not getting a lot of sacks. They're ranked, 29th? But they got that athletic ability. I mean, they got guys that can cause problems. And you got a Jason Peters. And I wonder how they're going to do this lineup, right? Is Jason Peters going to get the first crack at the right tackle? We're going to see about that. We discussed lineups yesterday. Yeah, it is going to be a big game for these young DBs because they're going to be tested. Kelvin Joseph, another big game for him. Deron Bland, another big game for him. These young guys, this is going to be a good test for them. I said these next 2 games, the Texans and the Jaguars, will be good tests before Kelvin Joseph sees the Eagles, sees the Titans, and sees the Commanders. Really the Eagles, because that's going to be the game where there's going to be the serious test. But like I said, this Jacksonville Jaguars team, sneaky. This might be a problem game. It could be a blowout, could be a problem game, but I feel like the Jags have confidence right now. You know what I mean? This is a confidence game for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Feel like they have a little bit of confidence right now. They've been playing better the last few games, and they're at home. And I feel like they can beat Dallas. I feel like they say, hey, we can beat Dallas. The way they played against Houston, that's why the Cowboys got to come in and stomp these guys instantly. They cannot play around with these boys. You feel me? It's not a game that you would want them to play around and really, underestimate this team, because this is the playoff stretch right here. Kellen Moore calling these plays. This is the playoff stretch. 30-30 club. I've been talking about that, you know. And, yeah, Terry B. Josh Ball, he's a good run blocker. And they said they're going to rotate him and Jason Peters. I wonder if they're going to revisit the Zach Morton thing, if he'll kick out at right tackle, Connor McGovern at right guard. They did it a couple years ago. Zach Morton balked at it, didn't like it. And they obviously Terrence Steele got the majority of the work after that. But we're going into the playoffs now. This is a different situation. 4 games in it. You know, it's going to be tough. We'll see. You know, they've done the musical chairs where they have Josh Ball in on rundowns and, you know, Jason Peters on pass downs. I wonder how that dynamic's going to work. Who are they going to give the first crack at? Is it going to be Josh Ball? I worry. Yeah, Los, I don't think he's going to go to right tackle because he balked at it before, but they did do it. Okay, we can't say they didn't do it. They did it in 2020. Although he didn't like it, they did it. And I think it's still an option over there, in my opinion. It's still an option for them to look at. Now, I think Jason Peters is going to be okay. Me personally, I think Jason Peters is going to be okay. I'm going to pull up Jason Peters' number while I'm talking all this. Let's see. All right, so we got Josh. They got Josh Ball probably starting, and Tyron Smith may be back too. They say he's gonna get significant work. I told y'all don't look at these grades, but when they pull it up, you can look at these grades right here. Don't look at them, but look at them. Ooh, that pass block rating is atrocious. But to y'all's point, when we talked about Josh Ball, when you said Tarek B about Josh Ball being only good at run blocking, he's horrible at pass blocking. We saw those quick sets when he came right in. He did like 14 plays and already gave up 2 pressures and gave up a sack. So I'm pulling this up right now. I'm going to let y'all see it because it might be a little delayed right here. But you see that number right there. Ooh-wee. That run block grade is damn right, Tarek B. But that pass block grade is atrocious. Let's go over here. I think, and then when we talk about, what's going on with the Josh Ball, you heard Nate Newton. He's not really, doesn't have a lot of anchor. He's not really the strongest guy. But remember, he was a 4th round draft pick. So because he was a 4th round draft pick, they're going to give him every opportunity to get better. Now, I listen to Nate Newton, what he says. He's the guy. He said that guy just not ready. But, you know, we can also sit there and say, you know, some other players we seen when Terrence Steele was undrafted and everybody thought he was atrocious, was never going to do good. Remember, and I'm not saying Josh Ball's going to be a good player, but what I'm saying is, remember, everybody was trashing Connor McGovern last year, right? They were trashing Connor McGovern, saying he could never play left guard, right? And I'm not saying this is an instance, but what I am saying is we'll see. Hopefully he can step his game up, but I feel better with the Jason Peters out there. You feel me? Let's get Jason Peters. You know, he might be 40 years old, but Jason Peters played. Pull up Jason Peters. Jason Peters played 15 games last year, so that's why I think he'll be okay. Now, obviously, he's 40 years old. I'm pulling that up. What's up, Jay Lombardi? What's up, big dog? I'm going to wait till it pulls up Jason Peters. Like I said, they said he hadn't played right tackle since 2005, 40 years old. These are Jason Peters' number right here. Are they getting ready to come up? And all the snaps, hasn't had any significant snaps. These are his most snaps he had was Houston. He had 19 of them. But I see no sacks right here. I see that's a better option. And I think they'll probably start out with a Josh Ball just to see what he's doing. But we see right here the better option is probably Jason Peters, right? These are his numbers. They're getting ready to come up. So you see it right there. This is your better option, and I think for a 4-game stretch, you're worried about the sets, your plays that you're going to be in the game. 40 years old, but he played 15 games, folks. Last year was a starter. You get what I'm saying? Was a starter. So since he was a starter, 15 games last year, I think Jason Peters will be okay. I think maybe are you worried about him playing right tackle? But he's been playing tackle. So I think that's your best option. You're trying to do the stretch run, right? You're trying to go to the playoff. I mean, you're trying to go on a hot streak. You want to be hot going into the playoffs. Hot. I don't want to really deal with the Josh Ball experiment when you got a guy right now. You got what I'm saying? You got a guy right now who showed you he's a vet. He'd been doing this. And look at the numbers right now. And I'm going to keep going back to it. Jason Peters played 15 games last year. Just last year. And when he came into the season this year, he was out of shape. And he wasn't even playing a lot. Look, week 3. This is when the Cowboys scooped him up. So you're looking at how many weeks he's been with the team? Since week 3? Right? So he's had plenty of time to get in shape. And if you look, the numbers have gotten better since he's been here. So I just feel like I would start Jason Peters. But maybe they're thinking start Josh Ball and have Peters as your backup just in case you fail. And don't start Peters and Peters happens something to Peters and then you got to come in with a Josh Ball. Maybe that's their thinking. And maybe that's why they would start a Josh Ball. But I also feel like he's a 4th-round draft pick, and they're going to try to prove themselves right with that one, just in my opinion. So we'll kind of see. I did buy the numbers the other day. I gotta get my call line back together. That's where we're kind of at. Just my kind of thoughts right quick. Nothing really special. Just my thoughts right now. Don't play around with this team, Dallas. This is going to be a fight, I believe. This is going to be a fight. If the Cowboys come in there and be serious with it and handle their business, it's going to be good. But this has to be a 30-30 game. I think this needs to be a heavy run game. I don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars have the greatest run defense, so I think you really need to attack them on the ground and really set up the play-action pass. And this needs to be like it was in that game against the Colts, where it was 39 rushes, 220-some yards. I think this needs to be that type of game against these Jaguars. We really need to run the ball on this game, establish the run, not get pass happy, because this is going to be a hostile environment. This is going to be a really hostile environment. They're going to be smelling themselves. They're going to be feeling like they can win this game. They're going to be feeling, really good about themselves. So I think the Cowboys really need to come in there, establish the run game, attack Trevor Lawrence. They're going to, a lot of these teams are doing that RPO, that read option or RPO against Dallas. The Texans was killing us with it. And the Eagles were looking at it because that's what they roll with. Trevor Lawrence is a athletic quarterback. He can run. And they will probably try some set plays where they're RPOing or do some quick draws with him just to see where the Cowboys are at. So the Cowboys must stay disciplined. Dallas can score a lot of points on this team, in my opinion. This could be one of those games where Dallas can score like 28, 35 points on this team. But they really got to jump on them quickly and don't let the Jaguars stay in this game, or it's going to be a problem, in my opinion. If they keep the Jags in this game, and let them hang around, it's going to be a problem. They need to stomp these boys out early and take their confidence away. Because Trevor Lawrence, like I said, he's getting more confident by the day. He's feeling they're smelling him as the number 1 draft pick right now, and I believe he'd do nothing more than prove that he's the guy by winning a game like this. So, Cowboys come in. Really, this is the playoff stretch right here. This is the playoff run. This is the run that I've been talking about. That yeah, definitely. Definitely shout out to your son Raider. He's 5 months old and he just had his 4th surgery. I definitely will speak on that right now. But definitely don't play around with these guys. Come out here and execute. Don't underestimate this team, because this is the playoff run right here. This is the stretch playoff run right here. This is what I said. These are the 4 games that